What's up, YouTube? Welcome to another edition of Sudoku Shuffle, a series of puzzles that I do, just a miscellaneous puzzle that I throw into the mix in addition to my daily New York Times hard Sudoku puzzle and my LA Times impossible Sudoku puzzle that I do regularly. So before we get started, be sure to subscribe for more Sudoku videos like this. And I will have a link to the puzzle in the description, but first let's go over the puzzle itself. The name of the puzzle is Salty Cages, and it's by Oatmeal. And it's a 6x6 variant. So we got a few rules going on here, but it's not too complicated. So let's go over those rules first. Now the first thing you'll notice is that it is a 6x6. So we're going to fill the digits 1 through 6 once each in every row, column, and 2x3 box. In addition to that, we have killer cages. So digits in those cages sum to the number in the corner of the cage. So we can see one of the cages right here. We can see that this is a 7 cage. So the digits in this cage, and it looks like this cage is going to go out a little bit. We'll get to that rule in a minute. But the sum of the digits comes to 7. Kropkidots are in play in this puzzle. So we have black and white kropkidots. So if you're not familiar with those, white kropkidots indicate consecutive digits. So if this was a 3, let's say, in this box, this would have to be a 2 or a 4 in this cell, I mean. So we have that, and then the black dot signifies a 1-to-2 ratio. So for example, let's say we had a 2 in this cell. This cell here would either have to be a 4 or a 1. So it's a 1-to-2 ratio. Let's scroll down. We got a little bit more going on here. We also have xvsums. So what those are if there's a V between two cells, like it looks like there is one here, that means this cell and this cell is they're going to add to 5. If there's an X, they're going to add to 10. So you could see that in the rules here. And then in addition to that, you also have fog covering the grid. So the gray indicates fog. So I'll just read the rule here. Additionally, the grid is covered with fog. Placing correct digits will clear the fog surrounding the cell. No guessing is required. So those are the rules. So there's a link in the description if you'd like to try this puzzle yourself. And with that being said, I will fill the grid. And I'm going to reset the clock. Not that I'm really concerned about the time, but I'm just going to reset the clock. So the first thing I'm going to do is notice that there's a black kropki dot here. So what that tells me is that there's no 5. There's not going to be a 5 there, because if you had a 5 there, half of 5 is 2.5, and we can't do that. Double 5 is 10, and that's too high. You can't put 10 in a cell. So this is going to be, it can be anything except 5. And so I'm going to mark that by just filling in the digits. We're not going to have a 5 there. Now we can see that this, even though we can't see this cell, I mean it's covered by fog, we can see that there's a V there. That's a V. All right, so that means this cell and this cell have to add to 5. So the first thing I can notice is that that means this can't be a 6, because that's already higher than 5. So let's take 6 out of there, and that means we can take 3 out of here. Now, all these other digits are possible, but that means because the way you're going to add to 5 is either 1 and 4 or 2 and 3. So that means this cell is only from 1, 2, 3, and 4 as well. All right, so we can't place anything yet, but we can at least note that. So we know 5 is going to be in here somewhere. Let's mark that. Now I want to come down here. So first thing, I see that there's a V right here. Looks like there's a V here, so I'm going to mark both these cells as being from 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the only You can't have a 5 or a 6 in either of these cells. For the same reason we set up here. The other thing I'm going to notice is that this cell here, this cage extends into this cell at least. And I don't think it can go out any further than that, because let's say the least we can have in these 3 cells is 6. You could have a 1, 2, and 3. That's the lowest total you can have. So actually, you could have 1, 2, 3, and then this could be a 1. Like this could be the 1, 2, 3, and then another 1 here. But I think that's the furthest out that cage is going to go. If it only goes out here, like say this is the last. Well, before we do that, before we go any further, let's look at the fact that there's a white dot here on this domino. If you don't look at the rest of the cage, let's just look at these 2 cells. If this is a 4, this either has to be a 5 or 3. And neither one is going to be possible, because 4 plus 5 is 9. That's too high. This is a 7 cage. And 4 plus 3 is 7, and we know the cage goes at least 1 more cell. So 4 is not possible here. And therefore 1 is not possible here. Now 3, 3 is still possible. So I think the other numbers are still possible. But it's definitely not 3. Okay, so it's definitely not 3, 4 though. If this is a 3, this is going to be a 3, 2. If this is a 2, this is going to be 2, 3. So this can only be from 1, 2, 3. It's not going to be, if it was a 4, like if this was a 3, this would have to be, or this would be 4 or 2. Yeah, so it's not going to be 4. I already explained that. I'm just trying to make sure in my head that that's correct. So whatever this is, if this is a 1, this is going to be a 2. These just have to be consecutive. Like we're not going to have 1, 3 here, that's for sure, because 1 and 3 are not consecutive. But the only possibilities for both these cells are 1, 2, and 3. Now, that means this is a 5, 6 pair right here, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 as the only possibilities. So what else can we say? What else can we say? So if this is 1, 2, that's going to be 3. This could be a 4 to add to 7. Maybe there might be few enough choices here that we can determine the possible digits for this cell. So let's do, like if this is 1 and 2, but we don't know if this extends. So that's the problem. But we do know 2 is in one of these 2 cells, because if this is a 1, this is going to be a 2, or vice versa. And if it's a 2 in one of these cells just to begin with, obviously there's a 2 in one of these cells. And then if this is a 3, this other cell is going to be a 2, or vice versa. So there's definitely a 2 in here, which means this is not 2. And that means this is not 2, which means this can't be a 3, which means this can't be a 6. And the other thing that means is that 2 is in one of these two cells because of this ratio here. If you have a 1 here, this is going to be a 2. If this is a 2, this is a 1. If this is a 4, this is a 2. And if this is a 4, this is a 2. So one of these is going to be 2. So we can pencil 2's over here. All right, we're getting closer to hopefully placing a digit or finding something. So I took 4 out of here. 4 and 1, 3 and 2. This is never going to be a 3 because we eliminated the 2 from this cell. So I should take the 3 out of here. Yeah, so we're either going to go 1, 4, or 2, 3. And does that do anything here? This could still be all 3. I mean, if this is a 1, this is a 2. If this is a 2, this is a 1 or a 3. All right, so if this could be 1, 4, 2, that's fine. This could be 3, 2, 4, that's fine. This could be 4, 2, 1. So yeah, all the combinations are still possible up here. All right, so maybe we need to think about this cage here. So the lowest this is going to add to is 3. And then this could be, that would mean this is a 1, 2, and then this would be a 3 or a 4. It can't be anything besides a 3 or 4. Because if this is a 1, 2, that's if this is a 1, 2. Then this can only be a 3. If it's a 4, then we have 7, and that's where the cage ends. If this is a 3, then this could be a 1, and the 1 would be up here for the cage. You know, for this. Oh, digits can't repeat in a cage though. Yes, I need to remember that. So if we can't use the 1 twice, then I think the only way we're going to get to 7 in this cage is 1, 2, 4. You can't do 1, 3, 3. It has to be a 1, 2, 4. That means it's going to be a 1, 2 in this domino here. So this is not 3. And this is a 4. There we go. That's what I'm talking about right there. All right, so let's take these 2's out. Let's go up here. Eliminate 4. So now we have a 1, 2 pair here for this domino. And that's in the same 2 by 3 box here. So we can rule out 1 right here. So we're either going to have a 1 and 4 or 2 and 3. All right, so now we have an X here. So the fog cleared and we see that there's an X domino here. The only way you're going to add to 10 in a 6 by 6 Sudoku is with a 6 and a 4. So the 4's got to go here and 6 has to go here. And we cleared out some more of the grid, so we have some more things to look at here. So first though, I'm going to pencil in 3, 5 right here. That points up here, eliminates these 5's, and places a 5 right here. All right, we're breaking the fog. All right, now this is 6. All right, let's pencil the 3, 5 in both of these. So that means this is a 4, and now this is a 1 because we need to add to 5 here. This is a 2. This is 3. Now to add to 5, we need a 2 here and a 1 there for the black dot ratio, the black kropki dot. All right, let's pencil this in. We need 4 and 6. And this is going to be a 1-2 pair. So I'm just going to remove the corner marks there. Okay, let's move on. Actually, let's continue penciling. I like to do the penciling first and then take a look at the other stuff. So this is going to be 2, 3, 5 left for the column right here. Actually, I'm just going to fill this in 2. We have a 2 and a 4. So the rest of the column, we still need a 1, 3, 5, 6. All right. Now, we know this is not going to be a 1, 3 because this has to be consecutive because of this white dot. So we can actually rule out 1 and 3 because it can't be a 1 because the other digit would have to be a 2. The other cell would have to be a 2. And if it's a 3, we would need either a 2 or a 4 next to it. So we can actually rule out 1 and 3 from both those cells. So that creates a 5, 6 pair. Eliminates 5 from here, gives us a 2, 3 pair that points here, places a 5, places a 3. We get a 3 in the corner, it's always nice. So now the 5, 6 pair makes this a 1. All right, so I could just look at this 8 cage, but actually what I want to do first is, well, let's do the domino first. I mean, I could do a bunch of stuff here, but I'm going to pencil in this domino. Remember, it can be everything except 5 in a vacuum. It can be any digit except 5 because we can't have a 5 on a black kropki dot domino in either cell. All right, so we have 1, 2, 4, and 6. So let's eliminate this stuff that by Sudoku. This can't be 1, 4, 6. In this cell, and this cell can't be 1 or 4. So what are we left with as the choices? If one of these cells is a 2, we would need a 1 or a 4 in the other cell. So neither of these cells can be a 2. And that only leaves 6 and 3. And the only way that can go is with 6 here and 3 here. Okay, and that places this 5 and this 3. 6 in this, we can see that this 8 cage is only 2 cells, so this is a 2. All right, that makes this a 3 and this a 2. Come over here, place a 1 and 2. We need a 1 and a 4 right here. And we can place this digit. Let's just finish this row first. We need a 5 there, 6 there, 5 there. This is going to be a 1, 4 pair. Up here, we need a 2 and a 5. Yeah, 2, 5. 2, 5. I guess just do Sudoku to get the rest of this here. We need a 3, 4, 6. Let's pencil that. Okay, that's not 3, that's not 6. For this row, we need a 1, 4, 6. And this one here is not 6. All right, so we have a 1, 4 pair. That makes this a 3. And we can see now that this is a 7 cage. So this is a 4. That's a 6. That's a 1. That's a 4. That's a 1. 6 and 4. Very nice. Very nice puzzle. I enjoyed that. Not too difficult. Fun though, and you know, if you're not familiar with some of these variants, it's definitely going to be, it's going to seem harder maybe at first, but if you just think about it, I think the hard part is just figuring out the initial deductions, especially with this 7 cage, because that could have, but I should have known actually, now that I think about it right off the top, because I always forget that digits can't repeat in a cage. You know, so if I had remembered that, I wouldn't have even thought about this cell being a possibility for the 7, for a 7 cage, because even though by Sudoku you can repeat the 1 here, like if this was in the cage, but well, by Sudoku you could repeat the 1. Like let's say this was part of the cage and you could repeat digits in the cage, then that would give another possibility for that 7 sum. But you can't repeat digits in a cage, so that only left 1, 2, 4 as the option for the 7 cage. Very nice puzzle. I hope that was enjoyable for you. Let me know how you did in the comments. Let me know what you thought of the puzzle, and I'll see you next time.